So today I wanted to take your questions that you have about Ireland and answer them for you. I reached out across social media and I asked you guys what you wanted to know about Ireland and indeed Irish people. Do follow me across my social media because it's fun to do that, I think, but I'm biased.
You don't say.
The response was unbelievable. I got so many great questions and some of them actually brought to light a couple of things I might want to do for future videos. They were bigger questions requiring bigger answers, so stay tuned. Before I get into the video, do be sure to subscribe, otherwise your pet will just disappear from the couch. Where is he? Okay, the first question I have is from Rachel, and she asked, is drinking as abundant of an activity as the stereotype would lead one to believe? This is a great question, and the short answer is yes. Drinking is inherently a part of Irish culture. I've said it before and I'll say it again. We drink to celebrate and we drink to mourn. In America, I find you guys go to coffee shops to hang out a lot, whereas in Ireland, people automatically go to the pub. Go. It's just a thing people do here to relax. It's the go-to thing, and it's part of how people socialize, and it's part of how they work as well. People go to the pub after a work thing. The Irish version of going to the golf course.
Golf sucks.
You don't have to drink to live in Ireland, but it is socially a little awkward when you don't. It's a whole thing. It's just more socially acceptable to drink here. Next up, Danhull asks, what are some brands in Ireland that you don't see anywhere else? Oh my god, there are so many cool Irish brands. Of course, there's loads of independent shops, and I'm really concerned for what's going to happen to those places after this whole situation calms down.
Most boring apocalypse ever.
But the most inherent Irish brand that springs to mind when you ask of like a fast food place or something is Abracababra. Abracababra serves kebabs. It's very much a greasy spoon, nothing fancy. But they actually give out Abracababra gold cards to celebrities, and I say celebrities. Colin Farrell got one, he's a legit celebrity. So did a lot of other Irish celebrities. Basically, they get free Abracababra whenever they want. There's also Dunnes stores, which I really like to go shopping in, and that's even made its way over to Spain, so I like Dunnes stores too. Carl asks, are there Irish accents or dialects where even natives need to go, wait, what did you say?
Was about night, there'd be a full moon there about night, and it would be bright out, and there could anyone go up in the mountains about night, sure?
Yes. As you guys know, Ireland has more dialects, I think, per capita than anywhere else in the world. A mile down the road is a different accent from what they have here. There are definitely depths of the countryside where I'd find myself going, come again? I did not quite catch that.
Yeah.
I'll get the odd word here and there, but mostly I'm just as confused as you might be. Ooh, controversial. Rebecca C asks, does it offend you that Irish people were voted the least sexy in a Nova poll? What's a Nova poll? No, it doesn't offend most Irish people, I think, that we were voted the least sexy, because we got all that charm, yo, but not cool. Yeah, I think when it comes to the superficial things, you would definitely look at Latin people as being sexy, whereas an Irish person on the dance floor, less so. That's not our shtick. Our shtick is charm and banter and all that kind of thing. Plus we got the accent, which apparently is quite popular in a great many polls, so you can keep your sexy and shove it right up your... Alex asks, what's the best way for an American to meet people and make friends if they are moving to Ireland? Hands down, go to the pub. You can go and join the gym or do an activity or sport or go climb mountains. Grand. But honestly, if you just go sit up at a bar, you will talk to people. For some reason, Irish people are way more receptive to chats at the bar than they are in like a park or something. If an Irish person starts talking to you in the park, you're very suspicious.
What? What do you want? What do you want?
But the bar is definitely a go-to, and the assumption is not that somebody is chatting you up in the bar. It's just how Irish people converse. We converse in the bar. But you might need to be the one to break the ice. I would go with maybe starting up a chat. Maybe if that works for 10 minutes, buy the person a pint, then they're stuck with you for another round. It's a tactic. Don't do that if you're trying to chat somebody up though. That's a whole other ballgame. Judy wants to know, do I speak Gaelic? That's the number one thing. Don't call it Gaelic. It's just called Irish. Irish people call it Irish. You will stand out as an American if you call it Gaelic, which is fine. But Irish people will look at you a bit like, it's just Irish, just call it Irish. And the answer is no, not a lot of people speak Irish. It's actually a tiny percentage of people, but we do have to learn it in school. That actually ties in with Desert Rose's question about the curriculum and speaking Irish. So if you start school in junior school, I think it's up to the age of 9, but you can correct me if I'm wrong, you have to learn Irish and you have to do it for your Leaving Cert exam. I gotta be real with you guys, Irish is taught horribly in schools in Ireland, and as a result most people don't speak Irish going forward. Like most people, I have a cúpla focal and will cadagumdol gydí an I can say the Lord's Prayer in Irish, and that's usually my go-to if somebody asks me to say anything to them in Irish, because it's long and I know it off by heart.
Catholic school, eh?
They don't know either way. They don't know. Kim Sparks asks about the immersion. She says, does it mean you wash your hands in cold water? What about dishes? Would it be worth it to turn it on for that? And if you forget to turn it off, how much does it cost to keep it on all the time? So in older houses in Ireland, we have an immersion which heats the water. Usually you'll have a bath and a sink mode and a timer, and you'll select it for certain times of days that you think that you're probably gonna, if you're always showering at 8 o'clock in the morning, then you'll have it set to heat up at like 7 o'clock in the morning. Most Irish houses now don't operate on that, but because there are a lot of older houses in Ireland, some do. And the answer is yes, you will have to deal with cold water if you haven't set the immersion to come on. Usually if it's on for an hour in the morning though, there'll be hot water in the tank for hours and hours and hours. And how much does it cost? I couldn't give you an exact number, but enough to really piss off Irish mammies.
I'm sorry.
John asks, certain countries seem to have a favourite foreign food. Do the Irish have a favourite foreign cuisine? I would have to say Chinese food is probably the super popular thing here. We have the 3-in-1. Also the very popular spice bag, which has been mentioned here before. Having not taken a poll, I think I can categorically state Chinese food is the most popular, but you can get like a lot of different types of food here. You can get Mexican food, you can get Indian food. Oh, I'm gonna get a takeaway after this. You made me all hungry. Greg asks, do Irish people love to watch American sports? Yes. American football has actually become really popular among the lads in the last decade, I would say. They're very into your league, if that's what it's called. As you can tell, I am not.
How about those dolphins?
I have yet to actually sit down and watch an American football game, but I'd like to do that in America if possible. But yeah, Irish people love sports, and you guys should probably watch some GAA because it's good crack too. Comacaloon! That's the most Irish name ever. It has been said that there are no snakes in Ireland. Are there any dangerous or menacing creatures that are featured and natural to the island, aside from viruses and people? To be honest, Ireland is pretty safe when it comes to aminals. I'd say the most dangerous thing here would be foxes. Foxes do walk around neighbourhoods quite freely, especially in Dublin. They have no fear at all, but generally they just keep to themselves. We recently got the black widow spider, so that's something to look out for. And other than that, bees and wasps. So the chances of dying in that way are small. Now, a piano falling on your head, that's pretty high. Chris asks, do Irish people go to the beach, or are they afraid they will burst into flames? Indeed, when we look at the sun, we are inclined to go bright red and blister, and all our skin will fall off, but we do so anyway in the hopes that one day it will turn brown, or indeed our freckles, as our mother promised, will one day join up and make a tan. That is yet to happen to anyone. Ed asks, how do Irish people feel about the depictions of their culture in motion pictures and in the arts? Like, for example, do Irish people find the presence of leprechauns to be funny or offensive? Irish people don't get offended easily. We are not a people who will go around saying that a depiction of ourselves is offensive. Do we find it sometimes a little twee? Yes. I know, I'd certainly like to see Irishness depicted a little bit more modernly in films, and I think to an extent it has been recently. By and large, I would not be offended by the depiction of Irishness in films, but I would be offended if somebody thought that we all lived in little thatched cottages and there actually are leprechauns in the world. If you think that there are, though, there are. I don't want to ruin that dream for you. Shh, don't tell them. Mike asks, what is the Angelus and why does everybody talk about it? The Angelus is actually up for debate at the moment. The Angelus is something that happens on RTE, the national broadcaster, at a certain time every single day, and it's tied up with the Catholic Church, and usually there's images of landscapes videoed across Ireland, and there's a bell that goes bong, bong, and we take a minute's silence to just reflect on life. I don't know anybody who actually does it, but it's there. Some people feel that it's very outdated now because Ireland is a multi-denominational society, but again, personally, it's not something that offends me or anybody that I know. So to me, I'm like, time of reflection, let's just keep it there, it's nice. Nick asks, would it be typical or at least not unusual for an Irish family to have summer cottage or vacation home somewhere else in Ireland? Good question, Nick. During the Celtic Tiger, some people had summer homes in Ireland. It definitely wasn't a majority, it would have been a privileged few, but something that was a bit more common was people having mobile homes. The irony being they're not remotely mobile, but people would go down to their mobile homes during the summertime and just, I don't know, live in a mobile home. I think people enjoyed mobile homes because there was good communities all around them and they got to be in the countryside and it was just a whole social thing. If I'm honest, I don't hear about a lot of people having mobile homes these days. We did have a recession. It's kind of looking like we're gonna probably have one again.
We'll always have Paris.
Megan asks, how do you get seated in restaurants? That's a really good question. In America, when you go in, there's always a place to stand and they will place you at a table. In Ireland, a lot of the restaurants have that, but not all. Sometimes you'll just walk in somewhere and find yourself a free table and sit at it. I don't know, that's just the way we do things here. It's just a bit more casual, I guess. Jackson asks, why do Irish people put so many sheets on the bed? I hadn't really thought about this before I went to America. We do put a lot of sheets on the bed because you never know what season you're going to wake up in. For example, the other night I went to bed in summer and I woke up in rain and cold and wind. We have a lot of sheets on the bed because you just might need to change your sheets during the night. We do love a dressed bed in Ireland. Usually there's about 5 layers. And that's it. I hope that was of some interest to you guys. And if I didn't get to your question, don't worry, I might get around to it at a later date. I want to dedicate today's video to the entirety of Patreon. I'm coming up on my 2-year anniversary and Patreon has changed my life and changed my YouTube and changed everything for me. It's also created an incredible community, personally speaking, for me, where I can just go back to and ground myself, and it's kind of a safe place to fall. And there aren't really words but to say that I'm so thankful for each and every one of those people. And that's it. See you at the end of the week. Bye. So today, before I get into the video, do be sure to subscribe. You might need and who's the smelly boy who's been out in the park today? You're very... Oh.